Hello, I'm Liz Lumley of Finextra, and today I'm speaking to Neil Warburton of IBM, and we're going to talk about critical data protection, so a really big topic currently. Are banks finding it difficult to know who has access, appropriate access to their critical data?
Yes, I think they are. The banks are collecting vast amounts of data of millions of bank accounts, and there are an inordinate number of people who need to have access. Customers will need to have detailed access to all their financial details. Bank tellers will need access to the last half dozen transactions for all the people in their branch, that type of stuff. And then there'll be the audit people who will need access to everyone's transactions details if they're conducting an audit of a particular area, and then there'll be anti-fraud people who will have a very wide-ranging remit. There will also be the IT staff in the department in the bank who will need access to the underlying systems, and that gives them very great power and very great scope of access to that data. I think another issue that most organisations have is around what is critical data. There'll be some general data, but the critical data needs protecting more than marketing data and sort of advertising type, less important data. So being able to know what your critical data is requires a good deal of investigation.
It's, I think whenever you have a conversation about security, sort of issues about usability come up. So, how can banks really balance this need to protect their data without compromising the usability of the system?
Again, it's part of the balance of if you make it too difficult to access data, then people will find ways around it. Customers these days have smartphones. They're wanting instant 24-hour sub-second response to a balance inquiry. So the banks will see lots more transactions, balance requests, and therefore inappropriate use might be lost in this greater volume of data that banks are seeing.
So I wanted to talk a little bit about mobile, because it's kind of hard to have a conversation about technology these days without talking about mobile. So what are some of the unique challenges that brings up in terms of data?
It does bring some interesting challenges because these smartphone devices that a lot of people are carrying around are the confluence of people's financial lives. They'll have accounts with their banks and their insurance companies and their utility companies, and all this is coming back to a single device that is very powerful device, lots of detailed information. Their whole digital life is held on these devices, and they are mobile by definition, and therefore losable, stealable, breakable, and it's a big challenge. And then the cloud dimension to that is that there are lots of services that's being offered as a cloud service, as a pay-per-use, and making sure that banks, financial institutions and customers are using the relevant service, and that only people, again within a financial institution, if they buy a service, are they allowed to buy that service? Is that service appropriate for the use of the data that's being uploaded?
I'm glad you mentioned cloud, because a lot of people have debates about the security involved with cloud, but can cloud actually help with protection?
Cloud can help. The cloud providers have put a lot of effort into building secure, reliable, scalable infrastructures. The one thing that they won't have thought about is the criticality of the data that they're holding, because it's not their critical data, it's often your critical data, the bank's critical data. So having a robust recovery plan if that data is lost, compromised, or maybe the cloud provider decides to up sticks or shut shop, having a fallback plan is also appropriate.
Yes, have your updated service level agreements then.
Exactly, service levels, and what are your exit clauses?
Excellent. Neil, thank you very much.
You're welcome.